So, as all of you know, it is MS Awareness Month. March is MS Awareness Month. So, I figured I'd do a little kind of, I don't know, awareness video, I guess you call it. Um, I have multiple sclerosis. My twin sister Holly has multiple sclerosis. Our mother has multiple sclerosis. So, for some of you that don't know, what it is a neurological disease that affects your nerves in your brain, and it eats away at them. And the myelin covering, which is what lets your nerves be able to send the messages to your body, like move right foot. Okay, move right foot. That's your nerves. That's what does it all. The feeling that you get in a lot of things. It causes a lot of different symptoms. There's over 90 different symptoms. Every case is different. My case is not the same as my twins. It's not the same as my mother's. It's not the same as many of my MS group friends that I have, which, by the way, I love you all. I would not be able to make it through my day without all of you. So I much love to We Are Stronger. I love that group, and I would be lost without all of you ladies. So love you all. Anyway, it causes a lot of different issues with every person. There is no known cause. We don't know why people get it. There is no cure. There's nothing we can do once we have it. One of the things, like, here's a reason, right? Just a small reason why I would like there to be a cure. This right here, all these pills right in my hand, that's one day. That's what I take in one day. Again, just so that you can understand, that's one day worth of pills. And those are not my MS medications. Those are my symptom medications. There's a whole other thing I have to do for MS, which is give myself a shot 3 times a week. Myself. Because I'm not married and I'm single. I'm not going to have my children do it for me. So I have to give it to myself. Just picture that. Putting a shot into yourself 3 times a week, which doesn't stop the disease. Doesn't stop it. It slows it down. So even though I have to do this to myself, doesn't even mean that it's going to slow. It doesn't even mean it's going to stop it for me. It's just going to slow it down. And even the chances of it slowing it down are only 30%. So I'm doing all this just for the 30% chance that I won't end up in a wheelchair one day, or can't walk, or just any of the other, I don't want to say it that way because not everyone with MS ends up in a wheelchair, but it's all of our fear. It's a major fear for a lot of us, is losing that independence and losing that ability. It's a fear of mine. Is waking up one day and I can't walk. I wouldn't usually do this, but people ask, how are you doing? And you say, okay, because you don't want people to know how you're truly feeling inside, and the fear that you wake up with every morning when you wake up and the first thing that you do is check to make sure that everything's moving. Can I see today? What every like I said, every one of us has different symptoms. So for each one of us, it's a different fear when we wake up each morning. And it's crazy. It's a huge fear. Imagine, one of my symptoms that before I even knew that I had MS that I had was I would wake up and my feet would feel like I was walking on hot coals. And I had no idea why this was happening. This didn't make any sense to me. I would have to go stand in the bathtub with ice cold water running on my feet, and then come back in my room and lay down with a fan blowing on my feet and hope and pray that I fell asleep before my feet dried. Because once they dried again, it was going to be right back to fire. And this would happen for weeks at a time. And I had no idea what it was. Now I know it's nerve damage. It's from the MS. The yellow pills that were in my hand, that's what those do. They take care of the nerve problems that I have. Memory is a huge problem. It's part of the reason why I can't work anymore, which is another thing. Imagine working your whole life and finally getting to a point where things were comfortable for you. Not just getting by, but comfortable for you. And then suddenly this disease comes and takes it from you. That's what happened with me. I was a teenage mother. I had my son at 17 years old, a junior in high school, and I worked my ass off to get to where I was. I was always employed, and I was always working up the ladder, and I worked hard for what I had. Then suddenly I get diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. My headaches start where it's excruciating every day. At that time, I was so dizzy I could hardly walk down the wall or down the hallway, and my memory was so bad that I was a sales rep and I would call my customers and ask them if they were interested in something, and then turn around and ask them again, and had no recollection that I had just asked them not 30 seconds earlier if they were interested in purchasing that product. Everything you've worked for is just gone. And then you have to fight for just to get on disability that you worked hard for. I worked for my disability, and for those that have not, I don't have any ill will towards them. Mine was Social Security disability, which is the money that I paid into all the years that I worked, and it was still a battle for me to get that. And thank God I got it. Had I not, I would have lost my home. But there are people that don't get it. They don't get it in time. Why? Because MS is an invisible disease. A lot of our symptoms are invisible to you, are invisible to everybody else. We walk down the street, we walk into a store, you have no idea. You have no clue that we have multiple sclerosis, because most of the things that we feel and that we deal with are on the inside of our body. It's something that you can't see by just looking at us. And it makes it harder. It's a blessing and a curse, because it makes it hard for people to understand that we're not your friend that is doing just fine with the MS. We're your friend that when you ask us how we're doing, we say we're okay to make you feel better, to make you not feel awkward. But we're not okay. Each one of us, every day is a struggle. None of us feel the same again. None of us. And hadn't felt that's normal in years before our diagnosis for most of us. Mine came at 19, and I had no idea. I stuck my head in the sand until I was 32 years old. And now I'm 34. I've been diagnosed for 2 years, and I'm educating myself on it. And I'm dragging on, and I'm going to stop now. But this is important to me, and I hope that you all have a little bit of a better understanding why we need a cure, why we need to be proactive in telling people and researching ourselves about multiple sclerosis and finding out what can we do as individuals. A small step is all it takes to get something started. So there's my little MS awareness video, and I know it's long as shit, and I'm really sorry, but I guess I had a lot on my mind. Okay.